tell me you don't use these type of floats or bobbers when you're fishing for crappie. Please tell me you don't have these tied on. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. I wanted to stress some topics that guys been asking us, sending us messages and stuff, and say, maybe talk about some of the terminal tackle that we see a lot on your shows and on your YouTube channel that you and your buddies use a lot when you're using bobbers or very popular slip floats for crappie. There's all different ways depending on the weather conditions, wave conditions, size of bait, fish activity, time of year, cold, but it's not complicated. It's just putting together the right intangibles, like all the different links in a chain, using the right type of bite indicator or signal, whatever you want to call it. But in essence, the slip float is one of the most popular ways to fish for crappie and suspended baits in front of those fish. So they have only one option, and that's to either bump it, knock it, eat it, or just smash the float. On these next little segments I'm going to show you, we broke down different places, different conditions, different size of baits, and overall different types of floats. But you're not going to see these, because this is about the good, the bad, and the very ugly about crappie floats for big, fat slabs. So we're going to go through some of my favorite selections of slip floats. Why I pick certain styles, sizes, different shapes and forms and stuff. But one thing is common, having the ability to constantly change the depth with the bobber stop of where I'm fishing. I'm in this little back bay that ranges between 1.8 to about 5 or 6 feet. It's first thing in the morning in early May, cool night still. Push those fish out a little bit, but I'm anticipating they're going to go real tight. The weed growth and pads are coming up. But I've got different options of slip floats based on different size of baits and jig heads. So I have variety until the fish tell me exactly what they want, where they are, how they want to eat. Different color baits, sizes, and just continuity. Crappie magnet with B&M. Let's see if we can catch some crappies. Alright, here's your little bobber stops, okay? They come on these little wires and stuff, and they have like little loops at the end, what makes it easy. So I just pick the end of my line like this, that I'm going to put the slip float on. And you got the little loop, so you just put it through the loop, just like that. Bring it up a little bit through here, okay? Then you just take the end of the little bobber stop, push it like that, slide it up, and now it's on the line. Look at that, there's your line. So now I just put it up the line, just out of the way. When I'm putting the float on, you just get your favorite float, whatever one you decide to pick. And you just put it in, put it through the middle of the float, comes out. So now it just slides, okay? See that? Slip, slide, that's the deal. Put on your split shot, put on your jig, and you're ready to fish slip float crappie. More at the front. How far does this weed go? Are they right up there? I think so. Oh, better fish. Uh-oh. I think so. Oh yeah, better crappie. Look at that. That's a better one. Yeah, I think that's a fryer. See, what's a fryer? That's a fryer. Look where he's got it too. Look at this. Look at that. Man, you just know when they're schooling up like that, they munch it like that, because they don't want their buddy to get it. Yeah, he's an eater. Let's put him in there. So my little slip float game plan is coming together. Let's see if I can pop a couple more right while you're watching here. Right up here. Had crappie slime on my fingers. Up at the front of the weed bed. Up the front. You're there, they just pop it, eh? Yep. Oh boy. Oh, good one too. Oh yeah. Much better fish. Look at that. That splish splash. Nice feeling when you find them. I think it's another male too. And I want to show you something about when I'm fishing slip floats like this on weed beds and things. See the wind coming behind me? So it pushes me off the fish when I get disoriented on taking fish off and stuff, so I'm not going on top of fish. I have the marker buoys reference, so I'm almost can just pinpoint where to put that slip float. Pinpoint it right on where they are. And he's an eater. He's going in there. You see, this is what I mean about somewhat the very ugly. See that right there? That's spring. I know it's easy to put on the line and your bait just settles and stuff too. It gets down faster instead of it going through the top, you know, with a slip float. You got to arrange it. You got to put a little bead on, a split shot, and you got to adjust it and stuff. I get it. But that's just a little bit more effort to make sure that you're not damaging your line. With the spring on the shaft like that there, you have a tendency once in a while to get lazy. Instead of pull the shaft back and adjust the float depth that you're fishing, you just grab the jig and you slide it. So you're damaging the line in the slot that's in the shaft with the spring. I only have these in my box if I run out of all the other ones that I have, and as you see, I have enough to use. I have backups. I'm prepared. The spring type, as lazy as it gets to use them, and I know a lot of people do, power to you. Try not to grab the jig and force this up the line to adjust your depths, because I guarantee you, if you feel that line after you did that, you'll see that it's frayed. And if you want to catch bigger than average crappie, don't do that. Pick up a slip float, put the spring floats down, and fish the way we do, which the same way other guys do for big fat slabs, by putting in a little bit more effort, not damaging your line, because the spring type, 100% damage your line. When I'm fishing slip floats on specific offshore humps, weed beds, etc., I don't fish it without a few things. Without my B&Ms, the crappie magnets, or marker buoys. Seriously, this is just a reference. You hear it, you know, you might get tired of me hearing it, but I'm telling you, invest in marker buoys, because this showed me exactly where they were sometimes in reference. So I put this right at the peak of that weed bed, which is 10 feet. It was the peak, all the way around 11, 12, taper down 14, 15. Had my boat in about 15 feet of water and made those casts. But sometimes, because of the marker buoy, it was like 50, 60 feet ahead of the marker buoy, specific spot, so I use that as a reference of where I caught 2 or 3 fish in a row. I guess they know we're having a fish fry, because these are the ones. Whoa! Oh, no, you know what? That's a female. That's one of my, maybe a picture fish. Hey? Want to go on a picture? Look at that. No, I'll let her go. Look at that. She's got all eggs in there, boy. And she's maybe 11 and a half, 12 inch. But boy, I want her to make babies. Ready? Go on. And I'm going to call that karma. Because the karma of me letting her go, maybe when I make this cast, I can catch a 4-inch or 14-inch big male that's done his business for some pictures. Maybe a couple more 13s for dinner. Yep, laid the float down. Wow. Doesn't feel that big. Well, doesn't matter, right, when you're fishing for crappies? I think you're another one. Oh, my goodness me, huh? Look at the belly on that one again, too. If I'm betting, that's a female. Let's put you back too, huh? Go on. Go back, do your business. I'm just going to keep going, man. I'm just going to keep casting. Just keep casting. Let's see how many I can get in a row on this deep weed bed with my little light bite float. Find the school where they moved. Oh, wow. Just wow. Watch when I put it right on the specific spot. Now see where the marker buoy is? I don't care what kind of sonars you use. You could never specifically have exact the spot of where these fish move to on this weed bed without that marker. There's no way. You'd be in the general area, but they seem to be so locked right on the front of that weed. It's incredible. Locked. Oh, I think we got another one for you. Oh yeah, it is. Bottom of the jaw, a skinny male, but perfect size. There's the testament using good jigs. Yeah, eater. See? Yeah, you're all skinny. Put and take fishery. Respect it, but man, feel free to enjoy one of Ontario's finest right there. Fish fry crappie. But if I didn't have the marker buoy out, I'm just playing by mind. My boat's sitting. Yeah, I got GPS. Yes, I have waypoints. But the marker buoy is visual. You can't beat it. So I saw exactly where it was. Every time I casted, specifically where those fish moved to the front of the weed bed, this showed me exactly where to put that little bait, and I couldn't miss. Every time I cast there, the float settled, the float would go down. Now when conditions are a little bit more calm and you have the fish sort of positioned on close to a weed bed or edge, and you can get away with using a smaller float, I really prefer the more slender type. It goes down easier, it signals bites really easy, okay, because it's so slender. But you don't want to consider something like that other than maybe like more of the egg shape if you have more wave action and wind and things. Hard to see these floats and hard to balance it right when you're using small jigs as well, like in this segment. So I'm using small jigs. I don't want to use the egg shape, okay? I really have confidence in the small little slender, like a pencil type that just sits, and I just weigh it or put the split shots on, so just I'd say a little bit more than 3/4 of the float is out of the water. So it accomplishes a lot of things. It shows me those little knocks. Sometimes it's just a knock, not the float doesn't even go down. So sometimes it just goes sideways. You know why? Because the crappie come up and eat the bait and hold it. They don't swim away, they're just holding it. So the float, it's so sensitive the way I have it balanced that it just goes sideways. When it does that, set hook. You know, look in here, and it can be confusing. Slip floats, does he have enough of them? Never enough, not when you're a fisherman, seriously. But when I'm picking the different areas to fish with slip floats, the biggest consideration I have is the different sizes of the floats to match the conditions, wave conditions, the depth I'm fishing, the size of the jig head and stuff. So I'm going to try to break down a few things that'll help you when you're fishing slip float crappie in spring, summer, fall. Okay, so basically you see there's so many different styles: big, bad, small, thin, wild. But the number one theme is having that signal for bites, the indicator. You know, it's just something about seeing that little slip float go down. And the premise of slip float fishing is using these little bobber stops, okay, and they're pinned, very easy to put on. I'll show you how to do that, okay. But the premise is those being put on the line, up on the line at different depths. Like this one's about 5 feet, and it's right there on this rod, that I can adjust it back and forth until I find the exact depth the fish are sitting on either weed, rock, or wood. Or sometimes I can put it down 15 feet if I wanted to, if the fish are suspended. But most times this is about fishing it between 5, 8 to 10 feet down, let's say, adjusting it back and forth. So that little slip float just slides as you have your little split shot. I add that just to make sure that the little jig gets down a little faster, because when I'm using 1/16 ounce, it takes a little bit of time to get down there, and I don't want to go through the area where I'm catching fish, where this bait is way up here. I want it down, drifting by their faces. So I add that split shot for two things it accomplishes. It helps the float stay more vertical like this, and as well, it helps that bait get down a bit quicker so the float can settle up and then go in the wind back and forth, so I'm in that zone of where the crappie are, okay? So there's different styles, different sizes and stuff, but the popular ones are the thin one like that, Northland Light Bite, more like a pencil style, okay? Just thin there. Another crappie. Look how they move. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's probably a fryer. We're going to have a fish fry tonight. He's a fryer. Yeah, he looks like a male too. Guess what, buddy? You're coming home and making a cameraman and guest of the show, host of the show, just an eater. Look at 11-inch crappie eaters. Another popular style, obviously, as you've seen before, is like, looks like a little Easter egg, okay? You can tell they get beat up because I use them a lot. Different sizes. They have like 1/2 inch, 3/4, 7/8. You know, if you check online with Northland, you'll see, but most companies have the same similar things as well. I have other ones, a little bit bigger. So if I use, let's say, a bit heavier jig head with or more wave action and stuff, so I can see the float easier, I'll use a little bit bigger slip float, okay? Smaller one, bigger one. And then I have another option. I can use the ones that look like steelhead floats. So I use enough weight so all that's sticking out of the water is the orange by the white line, the black indicator going. And the key is that when these fish bite, they don't feel anything. The floats are so sensitive, the way I set it up, that it just goes down slow. You know, it's just like they're grabbing a minnow or a little bait fish and they're going with it. That's the key with the slip floats. Slender design, easy to pull down. The fish don't grab it, feel resistance, and maybe spit it out. So there's different sizes, different shapes, but all in all, slip float for crappie, you can't beat it. Okay, a lot of times you're using the real small, even the slender little pencil-like floats with little baits like the crappie magnet, and this is 1/16 ounce, sometimes even go down as low as 1/32 ounce. You just can't achieve that float sitting vertical as you like. So you see me using a lot of times little split shots, different sizes. They're mostly small. All that does is achieve putting it on the line like that there. I crimp it on, and I do not slide it up and down the line. I crimp it on with a pair of pliers about a foot above the bait right there. So it helps me achieve two things. I can watch that float sit totally vertical, and it's so balanced that anything a crappie does, that float will show me, signal the bite, but it achieves that little bait getting down into the zone where I want it to be, close to the crappie, so they can come up and either bump it or eat it, and this float will show me because I have a bit more weight on with the split shot.
Today it's going to be about the slip bobber and little soft plastic. In this case, crappie magnet, slab magnet. On a 1/16 ounce little chartreuse jig head, the place I'm going to fish has got some real dirty off-color water. Like, we're not talking Mississippi, Oklahoma, Alabama, Tennessee. We're talking like Texas T right here in Ontario. But this applies to anywhere you fish that has off-color water. I can see down about 6 inches. After that, it gets almost invisible. So something like bright white with chartreuse. And what I'm going to do is just dissect areas of shoreline, cuts, trees, anything that I think has the warmest water, except for that one. That's Big Mama, hey? That's what the float does, right there. You wake them up. Slab magnet, baby. Picture fish, dude. Look at that. That's Ontario crappie right there, boys. Water temperatures right now are between mid-50s to low 60s, prime for those fish to be just staging before they go up tight and do their business. So the small balsa wood, I'm gonna be fishing anywhere between, I'd say 3 feet to about 6. If I see fish deeper and I don't get bit in my shallow stuff that I've originally wanted to fish, then I'll move out, fish a bit deeper. But for right now, I got the bobber stop right here, and it's set about, 36 inches, okay? That's about 5 feet of water I'm gonna fish. I've got a small split shot here as well, so the bobber stops, keeps the bobber totally vertical. There he is. Ooh, big slab, dude. Look at that. On the float, huh? How's that? How's that with the float, hey? Right at the back. Okay. How's that, dudes? Right there. Look what that slab magnet is. You think you wanted that? You wanted it slow. Slow to go in the morning, huh? That's what the float and bait does right there. Look at that, slab magnet. That's a big crappie, boy. Crappie on a float, hey? In front of the brush. Staying back. Look at, got some on the crappie magnet and some on the slab magnet. Maybe 10, 11-inch fish. Look how beautiful. Oh, I'll let you go, man. Don't worry. The fins. Well, that's really the deal. Going along back and forth. Crappie magnet, slab magnet. Having options, okay? Options. And all the rods I'm using, 7-foot ultralights by B&M. Just changing up between slab magnet, crappie magnet, sensitive float, one split shot. That keeps that float vertical like that. It's called smaller crappie. The 9 and 10s, no problem. Go on. Getting a bit better. Getting a little bit better. That's probably a 12-incher. Okay? It's probably a 12-incher. We'll let them go, aren't we? Yeah, man. Look at that. Sometimes you just got to move around, no matter where you are. We're a bay off a small, or a big lake anyway, a small bay. And it took me, what, 2.5 hours to find them. Going into cuts, fishing shallow at the very end of cuts, fallen trees, some brush. Man, sometimes it's just so frustrating. You go, so I find I'm patient. I work around spots that are high potential. If they're not working, I'll move out a little bit, fish a little slower. And once in a while, I just keep moving the bobber stop, up and down, up and down. I want to fish or find the most aggressive fish to want to eat. And I make those small little twitches with the rod, just so that little slab magnet is moving, moving. The tail's moving, moving. Now I come to the front of this canal, and there's weed here, and it's 3.5, 4 feet deep, and they're staged in the weed. Incredible. Most lakes have this kind of stuff. You just gotta find the sparse weed, and there's the crappies. Oh boy, oh boy. Look at that. How's that? Huh? Ready? Oh boy. Look at the belly on that thing. Look at how we took that slab magnet. Look at it. You think you wanted that? That's what you need to find. Right there. Smaller profile, chartreuse and white. You see I got the bulk pack because I go through these things. I use these a lot. Oh my goodness, look at that. In that weed. Oh boy. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? Are you convinced now? Floats the deal? Are you convinced? Look at that, man. That's slab magnets. Look at that. Tell me that's not a gorgeous fish. Gorgeous crappie. Beautiful fish. So for confidence, I'm going to add the slab bites right there. Slab bites and bright chartreuse. They come in silver flake as well, and they come in white. There they are right there. Those three. White, silver flake, chartreuse. I'm going to go with the chartreuse, add it to the tip of the hook. And these things are fantastic because, you know what? They perfected it to the point where, oh man, they were stinky. But they have a soft texture, but they stay on the hook. You know, I've used all different types of models and stuff, and we're not gonna slag anybody else, but something about the little slab bites, they stay on the hook, they give me confidence, and they help me catch crappie. Oh, look at this. Beautiful black crappies, man. Look, another 12. Oh yeah, there's a good 12-inch fish. 12-inch any day. Okay? Stretch that tail. Let's put them back. Okay? Ready? But I just keep free. Glide through areas. Look for stuff. I did that. I found a little weed patch in front of a little channel, and I actually seen sometimes 25 to 30 crappie all sitting on top. I cast past them, bring it by close where they are. You throw on top of them, you're going to spook them. Throw it past, bring it by, let the bait settle, twitch, twitch, down it went. Oh yeah, whoa, whoa. Big slab, dude. While I was sleeping. Ooh, Karl. Great, big, I'd say 15-inch crappie. So the next time you're out, think about it. Little slip floats, small little baits by crappie magnet, the slab bites, and you will catch them too.
Now here's another option, okay? the little trout style floats. These ones are called, I think, by Raven, a little company. They make the more streamlined stick because really finicky trout in rivers and clear water conditions and stuff, they're really as sensitive as it gets as opposed to the more egg-shaped. So when I'm fishing, let's say early spring, or the fish are kind of spooky in summertime under weeds and stuff, and they're not really in that aggressive mood, I just got to tone everything down. Smaller baits, smaller jig heads, and a real streamlined little float. Sometimes the little ones that guys use for steelhead and trout and rivers are the option. Looking for some green grass. There's some green grass right there, 9 feet. Come on, dude. Let me fluke upon a school of big, fat, golden slabs. Stupid as hell. You know what those look like. Oh boy, dude, this is a major weed bed, Kent. Major. Holy moly. Wow. Yeah, 10 feet deep, and the weed's like 3-4 feet deep. There's weed and there's life down here. Don't know sure what kind of life. Nice if it's crappie life. Look at that, eh? Crappie on the weed bed in cold, ugly conditions. Ugly. The fish are freezing cold. But Crappie Magnet does it again. Hey? First crappie of the year. I know you're saying, come on, Carl. But it's first crappie of the year. I'm a happy man. Sometimes it's search and destroy. This morning has been search, search, search. And one so far, but you know the never give up. You've heard it before. That's what I'm doing right here and now. So put one in the box. We're going to call them out. He's maybe 11 inches long, but he's the first cold water crappie of the year, late April in Northern Ontario. Let's put him in the well, show you how I'm doing it. So you can do it, and you can catch them, and you can have fun too, by slowly searching and destroying when the water's not even 50 degrees. Let's get back out, throw the float, try to catch some more crappie. Let's go. Here's the biggest thing I'm going to show you. I'm fishing over 10 feet of water and the weed comes up 5 feet. So right here I've got the float, okay? The little bobber stop is here and the bait's down there. So I've got it about 5.5 feet deep, okay? What I'm gonna do, because cold conditions and the wind and stuff, these fish are just really slow. Make it even deeper. So as the float goes down, I got a split shot to stop it, help it go down faster. That little crappie magnet is almost just pulling through that milfoil, the deep weed, going and bouncing above it. And because there's a little bit of wind, so it's not straight down like this, okay? It's a little bit of on an angle. So I'm not really fishing the depth that I have the bobber stop, okay? It's that angle, the pendulum. If I want to get right into the weeds, I've got a 1/16 ounce little jig head there. I'll go to maybe 1/8, 5/32. It's about getting that bait right through where they are. They're not really aggressive. The water's cold. There's hardly any sun. They're sitting right amongst that weed, right near the tips of it. So that bait's got to go right through their nose, right by like this before they decide to. So you got to put that bait right where they are, adjust the float back and forth until they tell you where they are, then you'll catch them. Let's put it back out. Marker boys there. See where the fish are. On the spot. See if we can catch some more. The sun might inspire them. Oh boy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think Carl got a better crappie. Yep. Better crappie. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I'm going to show you how these things eat, man. I'll tell you why people love catching crappies. Look at that. Look at that. Down the yap, dude. I've got that thing just perfect now. I'll show you what I mean in a second here. Let me put him in the box, okay? I'll show you what I mean about adjusting floats. Here's the deal. When I first came in, had the first bite, I was about 5 feet down. Okay, so now here's the bobber stop right here. There's at the bottom. So yeah, it's about 5+. And I adjusted it back and forth. 4, the 6 sometimes I was touching the weed. The 4, I got a couple small fish. Right now I got it just about perfect. So let's see. There's the bottom. Here's the top. About 5 feet plus. That's the deal. And I've got the marker buoy there. And I'm putting it right over the weeds that are 10 feet deep. The weed comes up to about 6 feet. So you know it's going right over the top of the weed, right where they're sitting. Okay, you're fishing your favorite areas with your little slip floats and stuff like that. What about poles, you know, matching the actual whole setup what you're fishing with? And one by Leyland's and B&M, it's called the TCB series, okay? Trout, crappie, bluegill. You can throw all different sizes of baits, all different sizes of floats, but I like to use this when I'm fishing fairly close, okay? I got a small little reel that they come with, the whole combination, 4-pound and 6-pound, either fluorocarbon or braid to monofilament. But I found that the TCBs really give the fish a fighting chance, okay? They're great for making sure that the metal, the little jig head, meets the meat, but this, I would pick these rod combos when I'm fishing a lot closer to the boat. There's other options I'll show you, like the Bucks and Sams when I'm making farther casts looking for fish. But when I got them pinpointed on deep weeds, on wood, or different areas, the TCB is a great choice when the fish are close to you and you want to give them a fighting chance and have a real fun time catching crappie. Traditional jig, yeah, nice sharp, you know, 1/8 ounce white, but the keeper is just like the standard ones you find on a lot of jigs. These Northern Tackle Supply ones, if you see the comparison, it has a keeper at the back end, like a real little pin. Fantastic. And then sharp, further back, setback hook. I totally believe when I'm fishing with crappie baits and stuff, I want that hook point and the curve as far back in the bait as possible for those ones that just nip at it. And you get them up on the top, okay? The shorter shank hooks sometimes, you miss those when the bait's a bit longer. So I got 1/8 ounce in a white. It's been catching some fish with me. Let me show you a couple other options these guys have. Okay, so I'm using the white right here, and you can tell I don't play around. These are with the mustad, nice solid shank. You know, if I ever hook into a 2 or 3 pounder, you never know. You don't have to worry about the gauge opening up and stuff. They've got them. This is 1/8 ounce. I got them in pink. I got them in white, pink, chartreuse, and white. That's all I need right here, right now, in late April to catch some crappies. This is my setup right here. Very light slip float. Look at that thing, just slides. And I got the float bobber stop here about 5 feet. One split shot to help bring the bait down quicker so the float sits more vertical, not horizontal. On the money end, right there, the Northern Tackle Supply little jig. Little white chartreuse crappie magnet, and of course, that right there, the slab bite, been helping me catch crappie when the water is like 43 degrees and they really do not want to be aggressive. But I'm provoking them. They're coming up, smelling it, eating it. Let's get back to the action. Catch some more crappies to inspire you. Come to Ontario, catch our beautiful black crappie. Let's go. Whoa, boy, oh boy. Look at my rod bend, dude. Look at my rod bend. Big slab, just nice slab. Look at these rods. Man, wow, look at how that thing goes. Tell me that's not fun. Oh yeah, eater, eater. I love these ultralights, man. They just like feel like it's a monster. Oh my goodness, those hooks are just priceless. Crappie fishing, no matter what it is, good jigs are worth every single penny. Oh yeah, good eating size fish. Jigs are worth every single penny. The good stuff. I showed it to you. I'll show you again. But I mean, do not skimp on anything. I know it's crappie fishing. You don't have to use $15 jigs or minnow baits and spinner baits and things like that. But good jigs, worth every cent when you get the crappie of the day, like this next one. Let's see. They're getting bigger. The sun's coming out. Things are happening. The rod makes the fish look like they're 3 pounds. Just stopped. And I set, and there he was. Like there. And a better one. You want to go this way? That's better right there. That's what I was talking about right there. About 12-inch plus. Look. The whole chain of command. The right rod, crappie magnet, and definitely slab bites are helping me on a rainy, cool spring day get in the feed of crappie. You know, there are times when crappie just wants small baits, roaming mud flats and points and things like that. And when you're toned down with that little, like sometimes 1/32, 1/16 ounce little jig heads, man, it's hard to make sure that that float is vertical exactly so you see those light bites on those roaming fish that are thinking about other things other than eating. So I would go with a couple options, okay? Again, that steelhead type. The real slender little pencil, as sensitive as it gets. And there's another one here this company puts out. I think it's Still, and they've got the weighted shaft, okay? So you don't need any split shots on the line. It's set up just perfectly with the small little jig head, okay? So these little baits, you might want to consider that. Ones that already have the weighted shaft on the float. Very easy to set up. They signal real light bites, and they're great for a really big black crappie. The rain's gone away. The wind's lay down a little bit, and we're going to pick up the slip floats with more TCB, the SAM Super Sensitive, and you know what it is? We're going to stick with the same thing, the little crappie magnets, but on 1/16, 1/8 ounce Northern Tackle Supply jig heads, and just ply along those edges. We're not going to go too shallow. We're going to, again, somewhat still main lake, I'd say 11, 12 feet. Rock points, mud flats, different areas, because we know they're not spawning yet. We tried real shallow, but these fish want to do it.
What do we got for?
Like,
big crop.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, man. Oh, Josh. Dude. Oh, you are a crappie king. Out here, huh? Oh, yeah, 8 feet.
Ooh, yes, sir. There we go.
So for the main lake basin, the rain goes away, clouds go away, pick up the floats, and start scouting. Josh gets a pig.
Look at the belly on that sucker, just ready to pop any day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picture fish, huh?
Gorgeous.
Maybe on passenger side. Beautiful, Josh. We'll turn around and have some fun here. I got the TCB series. You see me catching them before with this. Real light slip float, split shot to keep it vertical, and little crappie magnet. Same coloration. You know, we don't want to lose any confidence. This jig is doing it for us. So we're working on different shorelines, and right away, Josh, bang, bang, put the marker buoy down, 2 big fish right away. So what we're doing, we know is working. We're seeing fish on the sonar. We're casting all around the boat. He got a couple fish dragging behind us and stuff, and what we saw, got him?
Yeah.
This is a good one.
Good one.
Is
sure.
it?
Yeah. Feels like it.
Oh my goodness, Josh. Hey, we're getting spoiled because you got the monsters before. Like that is a beautiful crappie no matter where you fish.
Oh, yeah, that's
Wow.
a nice, gorgeous fish.
Wow. I'm going
Starting
keep
to get
casting,
that black
Josh.
in there, right from the shallows. Look, starting to come in the belly. See that?
Yep. Oh boy. Yep.
Starting to get in there.
I cast it.
Gorgeous fish.
Maybe I can keep them going, Josh.
That slab bite again. What would you do without that slab bite?
Oh boy. Yep. But we're finally getting some fish now. Rocky Point, picked up a few fish. And you see how big and fat their bellies are? These fish want to do their business, but they won't do it in 46 and 47 degree water temperatures. So now these fish, there's some off the main basin, they're in 11, 12 feet of water, but they're still not up in that real skinny, nasty stuff that everyone's catching them when they're starting to go crazy. So we're putting in the effort, taking our time, catching a few fish here, a few fish there, but you see, it's worth the effort to catch King Kong crappie when they're not just gangbusters in the shallows. Oh, there's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one, Josh. Oh boy. Big crappie.
There you go, brother.
Nice one, eh? Oh boy, Josh. This is psychotic, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Scouting.
Look at that sucker.
Look where he got it, too. Oh, man. Hold on, buddy. Look at him. I thought I was seeing things, Josh.
No, sirree.
Yeah, man. Down like the crap you love to go down, eh?
Look at that slab.
Yeah. Yikes. My fingers are frozen because it's so cold out. Look at them. Just get them out and I'll show you real quick. Double green. We're drifting down. We're not going to spook them, but Josh has been letting them beaten on the deep basin and the float. And it's a grind out here, man. Like, it is a grind. We're catching some King Kong crappie. Put them in there, take some pictures. Look how skinny that one is. Got to be a male, huh?
Oh yeah, that's a big male.
Big male. All right, let's put them in there, and we'll keep going. Remember, respect the fishery. You know, you want to catch those big black slabs. You want to put those pictures on the internet with those real big fish and stuff, but respect where you're fishing. You know, you want these fisheries to be good for years to come, for you and other generations and friends as well too. So the real big ones, yeah, man, they're a lot of fun, just like catching any other big species, okay? But respect them and let them go. And one thing about these flats on these crappie that are pre-spawn, they're really big girls, okay? They're so, I like, think about it. It's like a great big predator. They're so in tune with everything. So even us using, Josh, myself, using the real slender floats, I've got the steelhead type. He's got the weighted shaft type as well too. We keep altering the depth of the float back and forth, back and forth. These fish are suspended. They're roaming on the flats. They're not on the bottom. They're just roaming. So always adjusting the float depth, and then when one guy catches them, the other guy sets the floats almost at the same depth. But don't be lazy. Just because you're not getting bites, think about it. Keep adjusting the float depth until you keep getting bit, and you too will catch those big giant slabs that you can put on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and then let them go. All right, finally we're getting those big fat females too, watching the float go down. But it's an effort. You say, what's an effort? You're watching it, okay? And there's no rhyme or reason. We're only seeing the odd streaks on the sonar. But every once in a while, Josh casts to the back of the boat, I cast to the left or right, and all of a sudden, it's just going, and it just knocks, and then disappears. One of the greatest sights for a crappie fisherman to see is that little float going like this, slowly going down. No sharp, nothing. Crappie are notorious for making that float just slow descent. When that happens, you know what happens in my world. Everything else turns off because I'm about to set hook and have the time of my life. There's a good one, Josh. Yeah, good crappie.
Crap star. Boom, baby.
Look how yellow.
There you go, Carl. Boom.
You just keep us out there, Josh.
No problem.
Look at that. Just had a little bump that kissed it and left it. And then, oh, look at that. My goodness, dude. And we'll show you. We'll let him go. But for some pictures, man. Look what he's got. I'm going to show you what he's got in the back of his mouth right there. Look what's at the top of his mouth there. Does that look like a slab bite to you? I'd say it is. But wow. Gosh, look at that.
Ooh, pork chop.
Hey, there's the weight there if you're doing a crappie tournament. Right there. We will let you go. Don't worry, big girl. But for now, you make some nice pictures right here. Oh boy. Going in there is a grind. Grind, man. But sometimes that's some of the best part of fishing. Whether it be bass, walleye, especially crappie, is figuring it out. That's why we have multiple rods. Why so many rods? That's the reason. Sometimes it's not just single poling or float or deep jigging. It's all a combination of the above. So we're going to keep going, having fun, and catching these pre-spawn big King Kong crappie in Northern Ontario. Wow, Josh is putting a beating on those big black slabs that are suspended by using the weighted fill slip float, okay? Weighted on the shaft,
Real good and sensitive. You don't have to add any split shots and stuff unless you're using small jigs like we are today. But that's what they look like in the pack. Weighted shaft. They're available all across North America. Big box. You can go in the stores, order them online. But it's just another option of using slip floats instead of the standard spring type that ruin your line. Going?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh, yes, Josh. Yes, sir. What do you got going here, dude? Oh, my God. That's what they are, aren't they?
Crap stars. Boom.
Big two. Beautiful fish.
Another big old egg wagon here, folks. Look at that sucker.
Look at that, yeah. Pictures and wow. Beautiful fish, buddy. Beautiful fish. You are on it like...
What I did there, Carl, was, you know those fish that we saw streaking?
Yeah.
I threw behind the boat, I brought my float up a bit, and just kept popping it real slow behind the motor just a bit, and then bang.
Gotcha. 1/8 ounce Northern Tackle Supply. And again, he's got the mustad hooks. Excellent little ones. And I got white as well with the mustad sickle. So that's the packaging, mustads, and there's no give. Remember, we're catching King Kong size crappie. If you skimp on the hooks and stuff, little fine wire, you could be really disappointed, men are heartbroken because these fish are big. And again, what are we doing? The smelly stuff. Smelly stuff with the right jigs, and now we're catching more crappie with the slip float. There we go, Josh, a good one too. Oh yeah, big crappie. Oh. All right. Oh my goodness.
Look at that egg wagon, man.
Hey.
Oh, look at the belly. Look at that belly. Look at that belly. Look at that thing.
Like smallmouth, eh?
Dude, that's the tennis ball. Tennis ball.
Tennis ball, he says. Going. That was looking 7. Wow. Take a look at the depth real quick, Josh.
7 feet for sure.
Look, this is how Josh got him before too, right in the front of the nose. Different kind of bite. It popped once, it just went down. Like there was no ifs or buts, Josh. Like
Bang,
this.
grabbed it. Beautiful.
Those are King Kong crappies, boy. Again, we'll release some. Look, looks like the eggs almost want to come out. Don't worry, girl. You'll make for some good pictures, but man, oh man, that is fun fishing, boy. The sun, I think, inspired some fish to come in that tighter stuff. We're getting some in 11 by rock along the shoreline and 10. And then that 8 again, where Josh got some good ones earlier, put a marker buoy out, came back to it. And now we're catching fish again. So keep at it. I got mine about 5 feet deep. Let's catch some more. And when you're looking for crappie in little bays, sheltered areas and stuff too, and you have very little wind action and stuff, the steelhead option is an option, but I am making farther casts. So the little egg shape, that one I think is about 1/2 inch, they call it, slip float, is one of the most popular ones that I use. And as far as using small baits for these fish, okay, like the crappie magnet with aggressive colors, okay, everybody has their own choices. Look in this box here, you'll see there's all different kind of colors of crappie magnet with a little split tail, different size jigs and stuff, totally your preference. And as for rigging up those little floats, okay, a lot of times I'll go straight copolymer, okay, 4 pound, 6 pound, depending if those fish are big, they're rubbing against weed, wood, or rock. Or you can go with braid with a little knot or a small ant-like swivel to the copolymer or monofilament, all your choice. But just make sure you use the right size slip float with those small baits.
Slip float, sliding back and forth with a small little crappie magnet. Same people who make trout magnet. My buddy Jeff Smith out of Arkansas, incredible little bait. Everybody knows he catches trout like crazy. And they introduced these crappie magnets, and they got a slab magnet too. But man, oh man, with the little split tail, it makes the bait just fall horizontally, and the fish see it, man. You see what happens. Boom! I saw one come up, another one was there. Let's go get some. Now, early in spring, sometimes these fish want smaller presentations, and I know that when they get more aggressive and the water temperature rises, they'll go for bigger baits, no doubt. Inline spinners and underspins, jerk baits, and little mini spinner baits and things like that. But right now, they want it small, they want it tiny, so that little crappie magnet is ideal. But I still want to be able to cast far enough to those areas where I have the marker buoys and with the wind being pushed and stuff. So I got the B&M Sam Super Sensitive 7 foot, and it's rated between 4 and 10 pound. I got 6 pound gamma monofilament, so that little slip float just slides real easy. I crimp on, the split shot doesn't hurt it. A little bait in here, and once in a while, always check the line for abrasions and stuff, because you're rubbing it through those weeds and different things, and there's zebra mussels and things. But having that sensitive rod, sometimes just holding it here, I could feel those little knocks before I even saw the bite or the float. I'll just feel that little, and thank you, Sam, because you felt those sensitive bites before the real light bite float even saw it. Come on, crappie magnet. Show me where there's some crappie. Hey, where's the magnet? Is there crappies here? Look at that. Whoa. Now that is what a crappie magnet does right there. Look at this thing. Whoa, yes. We wanted slabs? Wow, man. That's a crappie magnet, not the slab magnet. Watch that. Look where it's hooked there, too. Look at that. Right through that membrane, too, eh? Wicked, man. That's why I use the crappie magnet right there. You want to catch big crappies? Crappie magnet, boy. Sore lip of Molly says. Let's put a few in the box. I'm going to keep a couple to eat. That's about it. But you know what? I don't have to keep a whole bunch, a whole limit. Just enough for me, man. Okay, then the cameraman and maybe you too. But that's the deal. Catching big, beautiful crappies. And in springtime, you gotta make decisions on baits, colors, presentations. And sometimes in the mornings, it can be slow, but you gotta have patience. You know, have belief in your locations. And what I'm fishing back here is just a slough off the main lake. Shallow water, about 3 to 5 feet of water. Dark mud bottom with old weed, stuff that they can lay their eggs on and get ready. But I'm anticipating as the sun gets higher, brighter, that those fish are all of a sudden going to turn a switch. But in the meantime, if I can put those 13, 14 inches in the boat, I'm happy because the magnet is getting them. I'll tell you how I'm working the bait. So I cast it out, it lands, and as it sinks, it just goes like that. And I got a little bobber stop up here. So depending on what depth I'm going to fish, and water here is about 4 feet deep. So I've got it about 4 feet because the clumps are down deep. As I find that the water temperature rises and the fish get a bit more active, I'll shallow it up a bit and move a bit quicker. But as I'm fishing, all I'm doing is making little pops. So what's happening is that float just goes, and that little crappie magnet pops and settles back down again. And it's got those little twin tails like that just shake. It's not overbearing, just enough to get their attention. And the bright orange with the chartreuse, it's an aggressive color because I'm looking for those bigger, aggressive fish. But that's the deal, making those little pops and then stop. Hopefully they eat it.
Okay, how many rods do you rig up for an outing? You know, do you want to keep retying all day? One thing good about crappie fishing is the poles are not expensive, okay? And they're specific to crappie fishing, they're weighted perfect, the craftsmanship, and the price points are perfect by B&M and Leyland's. A popular one is the TCB, the Sam Super Sensitive, the Crappie Wizard, the Bucks Graphite. The list just goes on and on. But when I'm using slip floats, how many poles will I rig up for an outing? Depending on the different size of the baits, depending on different colors that I want to have options so I'm ready, okay? So I'll rig up, let's be honest, sometimes 5, 6, 7, I don't know, 10 rods. I'll have different style of floats, so I'm prepared. I've got the egg shape, that's very popular, one that I like a lot, okay? Some smaller ones with the egg shape. I've got the steelhead type, all different options. So I'm ready. When those crappies start biting and I get busted off by a pike or snag or something, I'm not sitting there watching my friend catch all the crappie while I'm retying. I'm prepared, I'm ready, and so should you.
I'm only going to take 6 out to start with, Josh. You folks see a common theme here, eh? Buddy Josh kicked me into this green here. You know I love the pinks and oranges and everything else. He says, when's it going to stop? I'm doing this, folks, because of 2 things. I got a fantastic partner in B&M, and if a pike bites me off or something gets tangled, we don't want to stop fishing. So I've got a few rigged up. I know what you're saying. I'm a fisherman. Hoarding rods is the deal. Let's go find some fish.
This is what I'm doing first. Me and Josh both got different poles. Well, actually, same pole. It's a TCB series, Leyland by B&M. Sensitive slip float. You know, the split shot to hold it up. A little crappie magnet. But we went from 13, 14 feet, seen suspended fish, down to about 4. So I bring it down to about 3.5 feet until we get to deeper water again. We just keep zigzagging and trying to find some fish that are getting staged up to go shallow. 3 feet. You got junk on the bottom, that's the key. That spattered weed like that, that's what they like right there. Oof.
There we go.
Uh-oh. Big crappie. Oh, I think it is, Josh. Yikes. Oh man, even a jumper. Wow. I'm gonna put these down, Josh. Look at him, show him that one. Look at that thing, dude. Our first fish of the morning. Sitting out in 4 feet of water. Look where he's got that crappie magnet. Wow. That's a nice way to start, eh, buddy?
Absolutely.
Look at that. Look at
That's
him.
wet. Less than 5 minutes.
And look how black he is. Look at the belly, too. He's a male.
Yes, sirree. Gorgeous.
So imagine the one he's looking to spawn with, how much he weighs. Can you grab those pliers for a second?
You
buddy?
betcha.
Thanks. Wow. You know what? I never get tired of seeing that float go like that.
No.
It was such a classic bite. I twitched it once, right?
Doof.
And just went like this. Doop. That's how we start Northern Ontario right there. Beautiful black crappie. You can take pictures of some fish. Let's put them in a box and respect them. We'll let them go. Go on, buddy. Here he is. Was he a good one?
Nothing crazy.
That's what I had popped mine. You got him. That's a good follow-up, Josh.
Yeah.
Show him. Perfect. That's the one that probably bumped me, buddy, huh?
Yeah, a nice fish too, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Wow. Wow.
Nice guy. Right back to the bank he goes.
Mm-hmm. See, this just goes to prove, you can't be stubborn in any type of fishing. Josh is catching some really big, beautiful crappies, and I'm getting the odd bites here and there. But you got to be versatile, adapt as well, too. When your buddy's getting them, think about adjusting the float depth so you're catching as well, too. And when you match that, you both can catch, because both were using small little baits, almost identical little baits and stuff, but he's getting some of the better bites and stuff. So I know that he's got the depth perfect for where he's fishing along those edges and breaks. So I keep adjusting, he adjusts. So when you got 2 guys in the boat, or you got more friends in the boat, one guy's catching them, hey, you're both out there to have fun, right? Check how deep it is, where he's casting, how deep he's casting, and how deep he's got his slip float set, so you can catch them as well.
There you go.
Oh, it's dreaming there. And it's just a decent one, Josh.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Josh, how come your float's not going down? I look away for a second. On most lakes, Josh, that right there is probably a big fish, isn't it?
Yeah. With a scar on the side of him, too, from something grabbing him.
Yeah. He didn't want to open his mouth. He's tough. Oh, yeah. Wow. That's a nice crappie, no matter where you go, man. Wow. Maybe we shouldn't. We'll put a few in there, huh?
May as well, eh?
A few for some pictures. How deep are we? 10? Yeah, throw them on the other side. How's that sound? We'll have our trophy side on the left, Josh, okay?
Yeah.
Good one? A lifter?
A lifter.
Attaboy. Right off the rock, huh?
Yeah. There, guy. See you later, buddy.
One here, one there, huh? Boy. Okay, these right here are some of my favorite floats right there. Those ones will be tied on every time I go crappie fishing or I prepare for a trip, okay? The Raven, steelhead type, the red wing tackle, the blackbird, it's perfectly balanced stuff, slip float, line goes through there. They're really crafted pretty well. The pencil type by Northland, definitely, and as well, that Northland, I'm going to call it the mid-size. Not too big, not too small. I can use it in almost all conditions. The little egg shape with the gold tip. You know, all these are made to help you catch more and bigger crappie. Utilize the slip floats. Pick your favorite styles and colors and stuff. But remember, you want to be able to see the float. So the bright orangey chartreuse is key. Sometimes you can use it with bright chartreuse, but I found that chartreuse is almost invisible in the evenings and stuff in low light conditions. You want to put a nightstick on, you know, the little things you break and you put on so you can see the tip, you can do that. But the bright orange, you can almost see from any distance.
Okay.
But if you miss them, then they just go back and sit. They can't resist that pole.
Good one we got here.
Oh, it's a good one. No, you know what?
Yeah, are you sure?
Look at
You sure? Oh,
getting brave, eh?
jeez.
I don't want to swing. Well, you know, I swing big bass sometimes, eh?
Oh yeah.
And the rod companies don't like it. But what for that? Wow.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, man. I think that one is what we think it is.
A female.
Eh?
Yes, sir.
We'll let her go. We'll let her go. We'll take some pictures of some big ones, okay? Don't worry, big girl. I'll let you go. Oh, my goodness me. It's our first one along shorelines, little tapering edges and stuff, where the sun's beating right down. Water's 57 degrees. Just got a few fish on the Crappie magnet with a little northern tackle supply, 1 16th ounce jig heads, sliding slip float, and the TCBs by Linen Lures and B&M, just going along and just fishing. Taking turns catching fish. We got some fish actually with the net too, so you know they're good crappies. The float shouldn't have lasted that long. Someone's there.
Dunk right away. Like that? What do you got
Whoa,
there?
big one.
Netter?
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll come on the left side here, Josh. Wow.
The head shaking.
Yeah, man.
There we go.
I just finished saying, when they're on the right spot, this one could have been single poled, but look how it ate it too. The rest will bite, man. I twitched that float, twitched the float, and dude, it went, got it right here, thanks, yeah. Dude, it went pop, just like that. Oh, man.
Beautiful.
Oh, man.
Off the tree.
Yeah,
That was cool.
beautiful. Beautiful crappies. Look at that, eh? Wow. Sure are fun. Look how big that mouth is. When they pop in that bait, they pop the bait. One in there. Slow, methodical. Getting a few here, a few there. Boy. It's very tempting to pick up that single pole, but we'll be doing that soon.
As soon as you popped it, eh?
Yeah, popped it twice, waited, and then went down like with a authoritative
vengeance.
bite. Yeah, man. Whew, let's see if there's another one here. When you're fishing with slip floats, this is what you got to remember, okay? A lot of times you're trying to provoke a strike, not just cast it out, let it sit there. If the crappie want that, hey, it's the easiest fishing in the world. But a lot of times we're popping the float, pop, pop, making it go back and forth. You have wind action, sometimes it's windy and stuff, it helps that as well. You don't have to do a lot of things to inspire crappie to bite, but popping the float is deadly. I mean seriously deadly, especially for big fat slabs. When they see that little bait going up and down in the weed or near the rock or the wood that they're sitting on and stuff like that, because you pop the float, you'll catch way more crappies as well. So think about that sometimes. Don't just cast and wait for the fish to come to you. Pop the float, inspire them to get reaction bites, because they could be giants. Perfect weather, you know, a little bit of wind, but it's early. It's supposed to calm right down this afternoon. And in Northern Ontario, the black crappie opportunities are limitless. You just gotta find different lakes, different areas that have crappie and just big bluegills and things, and just go there. Figure it out, man. Go to a nice lodge, stay someplace, go with your buddies, your best friends. Hey, take your wife, your girlfriend, and just enjoy the fantastic autumn weather. But we want to catch some fish. So the crappies this afternoon, I'm going to fish the good old way that, you know, everybody loves to fish crappies. And how's that? With a slip float, little bobber. You know what I mean? Something signaling a bite. But I got it on that 6-pound test, okay? And I got it where I'm going to set about 4 feet, and I put it up to a bobber stop. There's one right there. That's a crappie. It is too. See it? Big one. Big crappie.
Lay down the float, dude. How about that? Let me show you this too. Look how big they are. Look at that. Think you want to eat that bait? Lay that float down hard, dude. Lay that float down hard. Just finished saying I gotta find some thicker weed on these edges. And you gotta use them pliers. Cause you know he laid it down. You want to eat that slab magnet. That's not a bad start, eh? For the size of him. At the money end, I have the little slab magnet right there. 1/8 ounce little jig head. And I got it in that white with chartreuse. Very, very sharp hooks. And I'm gonna throw it on the B&M Sam Super Sensitive and Crappie Wizard. I have multiple rods rigged up, so I'm rigged and ready. Different colors. When I'm out there fishing on those weed lines, edges and things like that, I wanna have a few rods and different poles ready. I'm gonna rig up with the, maybe let's say the Crappie magnet, the slab magnet, but we're looking for some bigger crappies. So that bigger profile, the little kicking tail, big fat shad body, and they're super, super soft. I spray on a little bit of scent, you know, and that's all we're gonna do, and hopefully find some crappies on the deep weeds in October. Come on, crappie. Good crappie right there, dude. This is a huge crappie, dude. Look at this. Look at that. Oh my goodness me. Hey? Am I smiling? I'm smiling. Poles down, I ain't moving. You dissect the spot. Worst thing you can do is just keep moving around and you actually find a little school of fish sitting in that weed. That's another eater right there, isn't it? That's an eater right there. Let's put him in there. Let's just keep going back and forth, okay? This is my crappie candy right here. This is what I love, all the colors and tastes, and you name it, boy, smorgasbord. But for this afternoon, I'm gonna throw that little Snow White with the chartreuse tail. It's a favorite. Like another one looks like lemon meringue. It's got a lot of light lime, a little bit of milky white kind of stuff, okay? This is fantastic when you get an aggressive bite. The bright orange, the chartreuse tail. You see my common theme, right? Chartreuse, chartreuse, chartreuse. I want them to see it, because the crappies see it, I will get them to bite. Then maybe I'll have the good old therapist. Again, it's got purple, and it's got some chartreuse. Those right there are my choices right here. The white with the chartreuse, almost like a lemon meringue, orange chartreuse, purple chartreuse. One of those there, we're gonna put crappie in the boat for me this afternoon. Yeah, right there again, hey? Big crappie too, look at this. Oh boy. Sitting out here, huh? Oh my goodness, look at this. This is what I come for right here. More than a handful of slab. Look at that. Right at twilight. Right at twilight, we're almost done. I pulled off about 8.5 feet of water. Wow. There's a good one right there again. Is that crappie? Is it? Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at this, dude. Look at this. Oh my goodness me, huh? Look at that. Out here in the deep clumps, we is catching some big, beautiful Ontario big black crappie. Look where that slab magnet is. Yeah? Oh yeah. Them big ones sit out here. They're the ones that are pounding the bait out here that the gulls are knocking. I need to get the pliers. You know that's a good fish. And you gotta get them pliers and you got it right in the meat. Take it, just turn it, put it down. Look at that, man. What's wrong with that?